Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mayz Pod. I'm your host, Mayz Greenman, and I started living my dream life at 20 years old. And so now I'm here to share what I've picked up along the way to help you chase your goals and live out your dreams as well. So let's talk about the elephant in the room really quick. You're probably thinking, doesn't the Mayz Pod usually come out on Wednesdays? And you're right, it usually does. But now I'm changing it to drop every single Friday instead of Wednesdays. I am really just testing this out with my schedule, so I might change it in the future. But honestly, I feel like a fresh new episode of the Mayz Pod to start your weekend off is just like a reward for finishing up the week. You worked your ass off all week, now I'm going to yap your ears off. Perfect balance, right? All right, well, really quick, just one quick announcement. Where are my female entrepreneurs? Raise your hand. Just kidding, I can't see you. But if you raise your hand, you get bonus points. But you should be joining my virtual networking event, which is next week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I will link the sign-up form in the show notes, and you really do not want to miss this. There are so many women who have already taken action to start living out their dreams that will be there. They're ready to connect with you, and the only thing that's missing is you. So stop the video right now, stop the podcast, whatever it is, and scroll down to the show notes and click on that link and sign up. Now, this week I am grateful for all of the trainings and education that I've been able to attend lately and learn more about real estate. If you're not following my my real estate journey on social media, go follow me at Mayz.g09 on Instagram or Mayz Greenman on Facebook so you can see that. I post at least 3 times a week about it, and this has just been something super new to me, but it's honestly changed my life. And I'm just so grateful for all of the mentors and everyone that I have guiding me through this process so that I'm not alone and that I don't get screwed over a deal. So I'm super grateful for that. I am looking forward to tonight. We are having a real estate meetup, which we actually do every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. in Utah. So if you're from around here, let me know and I can bring you to one of these. It's just a real estate workshop. We talk about so many different topics, and it's just so awesome. And one of the topics that they do talk about is a strategy that is going to help me and Owen pay off our entire mortgage within the next 5 years instead of 30, which is crazy. And that's without investing anything into real estate. That's without getting a raise. That's just staying at our same job for the next 5 years, making the same amount of money. So you definitely, if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. Either comment or shoot me an email at mayzpod@gmail.com or DM me. Whatever it is, just let me know if you want to be a part of that. And then if I could talk to younger me, I would just tell her not to take any opportunity for granted. Every opportunity that you get is there for a reason, so take advantage of it. If you're able to take that opportunity and you have been given the chance, there's a reason that you've been given that chance and you should take it. No questions asked. Okay, so we have talked about redefining growth for ourselves and embracing the uncomfortableness of growth, changing our mindset, and having self-compassion during this vulnerable time of growth over the past couple of weeks. So now today we're going to talk about something that's also crucial to your growth journey, and that's confidence. When I first started changing my mindset and started coming out of my shell, I was so terrified of so many things. I was really just scared to put myself out there, and at times I doubted my abilities and really just worried about what other people would think. But with each step that I took, I felt a lot more confident with everything that I was doing and realized that this is part of every single growth cycle that you go through. Now, I want you to remember that growth is not static. Just like anything we talk about here, it does not happen one time in your life. You are always going to be going out of your comfort zone. You're going to do that so many times in your life. And I feel like gaining confidence is one of the final steps toward growing into your new comfort zone. But also, confidence is one of those things that you're going to feel at different stages of the growth process. And even then, you may feel confident at one point and then not so confident anymore because of a setback or something that happened during the same growth process. So it's just important to keep that in mind while you're in your growth journey. You are growing, you are changing, and even if you don't feel so confident where you're at right now, stay diligent, keep pushing forward because that confidence is going to naturally fall into place. Now, one specific example of this from my life is obviously starting the Mayz pod. I talk about this journey a lot, this growth journey. But when I first started the Mayz pod, I was so nervous about what everyone would think. And I was just not ready to make a mistake. And I mean, you even saw me take all my episodes down. If you're an OG Mayz pod listener from, I think it was mid 2023, I don't know. I feel like I've been recording for about 2 years, almost 2 years. But you saw me take my episodes all down and restart because I wasn't happy with the result. And that was while I was still in the beginning of this specific growth process. And right now, I'm a lot farther down this process. It's not as scary or as new, but I'm still in some sort of growth cycle for the Mayz pod. And honestly, thinking about it, I don't think I will ever get out of this specific growth process because I'm always trying to improve and provide more value for everyone who listens. And I don't know if I'll ever get out of this growth process, which I'm perfectly fine with because the more better that the Mayz bot is getting, then the better that is for everyone else. Um, but I don't have as hard of a time getting behind the mic as I used to, or even getting on camera. And that was a completely brand new thing for me only about a month ago. And I had to do it over and over and over again to find what worked and what felt good for me. And okay, moral of the story is I am still growing continuously, especially with the Mayz pod, but I have a lot more confidence than I did before. I am very confident getting behind the mic and talking my little mouth off, bringing you all of the value that I want to bring you. And I mean, that's even improved just from the rebrand of the Mayz pod, since all of, like, if you listen back, don't, but if you listen to the beginning episodes when I was doing the success and the wellness series back in like 2024, February 2024, when I restarted everything, you can tell I wasn't super confident getting behind the microphone. And now I feel like that's not even an issue. I feel like it's second nature. I can get behind the microphone super easily. And I am also confident that I am providing my listeners with value, and I am confident that my podcast is worth listening to because I have done it so many times now, and I really just did not used to have that belief. I actually used to be embarrassed to tell people that I had a podcast, or if they found out, I would kind of tell them not to listen because I was just nervous and I was scared that people were going to think it wasn't any good, especially people I knew. It was mainly people I knew. If it was a random person, I'd be like, yeah, go listen to my podcast if they brought it up. But if it was someone I knew, I was like, don't listen to the podcast. It is not very good. Which is ironic, I know, because I was still trying to preach to you all, but I was still battling those emotions. They're completely natural. You're going to feel them no matter what you're doing. And I was feeling that with the Mayz pod. So I had to let go of all of that. And now I just have gained so much more confidence. And I know that the pod is just going to improve from here on out because I am putting in the work, I am gaining confidence, I am expanding my skill set, and it's just going to go up from here. So, of course, before we get into everything else, we are going to talk about the science behind confidence. And I really hope that you guys like digging into this sciencey stuff as much as I do. Like I told you guys before, I've minored in psychology. So I really like learning about the sciencey stuff. And I just feel like it gives it a more solid background and just makes my points more solid and credible because I get this a lot where even though I've accomplished so much and I feel like I have a lot of credibility in certain areas, when people know that I'm only 20 years old, they kind of don't take me seriously if they're a lot older than me. So I feel like talking these points and backing them up with science just proves that they're right, just proves my point. Um, but, anyways, the National Library of Medicine talks about how when you feel confident, your brain releases dopamine. And we've talked about dopamine the past couple of weeks. But if you're new here, dopamine is a happy brain chemical. Well, it's actually a neurotransmitter, but it's associated with motivation and reward. And this means that confidence not only feels good, but it also makes you more likely to take action and achieve your goals. And it also kind of relates to the statement when you look good, you feel good. And I feel like this really comes into play when you're having a bad day and you get ready, you get happy with how you look, and that little bit of self care, even if it was just curling your hair or shaving or putting on some makeup, that little bit of self care has made you feel better and happier with yourself. And that's just the dopamine being released into your system. And now you have a bit more confidence than you did before, and it feels good. And that's why that saying is so commonly used because it's backed up by science. Now, really quick, I want you to think about a time when you truly felt confident in yourself and your abilities. Maybe you achieved something, maybe you had aced a presentation or nailed a job interview, or maybe it's just as simple as you went on the run that you've been putting off for months, or maybe you cleaned your room for the first time in a month. I don't know what it is for you because it's going to look different for every single one of you, but whatever just came to your mind, that achievement or that ability probably pushed you to move further. You didn't just go on that one run the first time in a month and get super excited and then not go on another one. You probably felt motivated to go on another run the next day. Things like that. And so the more you experience those wins and make those achievements, the more your confidence grows and you're just becoming the best version of yourself. And this is because you went on a growth journey, you expanded your comfort zone, and you repeated your tasks until you were confident and skilled enough to achieve them. So maybe you had a big fear of going on a run and passing people on the street, things like that. You were just too scared. You pushed yourself outside of your comfort zone to go on that run, and you should be proud of yourself. And now you have the confidence that you can do that because you've done it before. And then, yeah, you go and do it again. You don't just say, oh, I went on one run, I'm fine. For the rest of my life, I'm not going to go on a run again. That usually does not happen. So, your confidence and repeating your skills, things like that, those are all going to help you gain more confidence and more motivation. Now, the power of repetition is the key in that scenario. When you are in some sort of growth process or you're working towards something, you're probably repeating the actions over and over and over again. And by doing this, you are building your confidence and your skill set. Every time you complete an action over and over and over again, you are getting better at that action and you're refining your skills, and you will have a lot more confidence than you did before because practice makes perfect. Well, mostly perfect because perfect's a lie, but you get the point. You know what I'm saying. And now you may be saying, okay, Maisie, we get it. Our actions make us feel more confident, but where does that feeling of confidence even come from? Or why do I even feel confident when I've done that? Well, confidence comes from within you, and you don't get confidence from someone telling you that you're confident. You may gain like a little bit of confidence from that, from someone saying, "Oh wow, you seem really confident." That might boost it up a little bit, but that's not enough to make you actually feel confident. You gain it by having a belief in yourself, and you accept your flaws, and you really just trust your abilities. So you take action, and that's when you become confident. Now, one way to build up your confidence immediately is by identifying your strengths. So take some time to reflect on your strengths and your accomplishments. I want you to think about what you're good at and what you're proud of yourself for doing, or for having a skill for having. That made no sense, but hopefully you get what I mean. um, but write them down in a journal or even just on a sticky note, and keep them somewhere where you can see them regularly. You could even write them down on a note in your notes app and set it as your lock screen or your home screen, so that whenever you open your phone, you say, wow, I'm actually good at this. But anyways, the point of this is so whenever you get limiting beliefs, or you're having negative thoughts, or you're having doubts in yourself, you can look back and say, oh wait, I might not be skilled at X just yet, but I'm actually really good at A, B, and C. And that will start to boost your confidence and realize that you can do the hard thing. You can overcome this, and you will be confident in this skill one day. Now, another way we can do this, and we've talked about this so many times before, and I'm going to talk about it so many more times, is to celebrate your wins. Do not downplay your achievements, no matter how small they may seem. I want you to acknowledge your progress and give yourself credit for the effort that you're putting in. And this ties into last week's episode on self-compassion, but we talked about being compassionate with yourself and giving yourself a break. Remember, you're human and you're going to make mistakes, and that's perfectly fine. So treat yourself with the same kindness that you would treat a friend or someone that you deeply care about. And that's really just going to build up your self-esteem and, keyword, confidence. You'd be rich if you had a penny every time that I said confidence in this episode. But whoever you thought of just barely, I want you to imagine them really quick. I want to put you in a scenario. So I want you to imagine them telling you that you suck. I want you to imagine that person telling you that you're horrible at whatever you're doing. That sucks, right? It does not feel good. You can probably feel it right in your heart. I know that I can when I picture that. But now I want you to turn the tables and imagine them telling you how great you are, and that they can see that you're doing your best and they really appreciate you. That would probably feel so much better and would build your confidence and self-esteem right up, hearing that from someone else. So talk to yourself that way. Or picture them saying that to you whenever you're doing something good. If you're struggling with your inner voice, I mean, I helped you overcome that a little bit last week, but if you're still struggling with that, every time you have negative self-talk, picture that person in your head, your husband, your wife, your sister, your brother, whoever it is that you just thought of. Picture them telling you these nice things in your head. That is a game changer. You'll feel a lot better after that. Now, one last thing, and I've also talked about this a lot of times before, is visualization. I want you to visualize yourself achieving your goals, and I want you to see yourself succeeding. If you have to close your eyes for this, close your eyes, get really deep into this picture, this mental image, and really picture this. Now, I want you to think about the emotions that you're feeling. How fulfilled are you feeling? You're probably feeling really great, right? So keep the motivation that you're feeling right now when you're picturing that, and keep that image on the top of your mind and take action to work towards your goals and dreams. And it might seem super far away right now, but take baby steps, and naturally you will build that confidence and you will live your dreams. Now, that ties into my next point, which is you need to keep in mind that confidence comes from taking action. You don't gain confidence by sitting here and thinking about the skills that you want to have. That gives you motivation. That doesn't give you confidence. Don't mix them up. But that vision that I just told you to create, that you just created in your head, is just one piece of the puzzle. Now, let's say that you want to be, I don't know, let's say you want to be a professional swimmer and your goal is to be confident in your skills. You don't become confident as a professional swimmer by sitting on the edge of the pool. You become confident as a professional swimmer by training and repeating your actions to become a better swimmer. Now, Carl Jung, who is one of the most historical psychologists, if you've never heard of him, he says, "You are what you do, not what you say you do." And I've actually been hearing that a lot lately. That's one of the things that all my mentors with real estate have been saying. You are what you do, not what you say you do. I can say that I'm going to be a professional swimmer, that I'm going to win these races. But if I don't actually get in the pool, I'm not a professional swimmer. That makes sense. Now, and like I said, you can say that you're going to be confident all you want. You can say that you're going to be good at something all you want, whether it's swimming, whether it's not. I don't even know why I thought of that example, because I have never even, the only time I've gone swimming, I've never done any professional swimming. I have just played in the pool as a kid. But anyways, whatever it is, a sport, a hobby, whatever it is, if you want to be confident, you're not going to feel confident without taking any action. So take that next step. And something that's also important to remember is that you project your confidence with your body language. So this is where you want to fake it till you make it. So for example, if you're trying something new and you're putting yourself outside of your comfort zone, you want to seem confident. Stand tall and make eye contact. And use open gestures. You don't want to close yourself off, because that won't make you seem confident. You'll seem like you're hiding something. So if I got on the podcast recording every single week and I was just like this, I can't even hold my iPad when I'm doing it, and I'm looking down, not looking at the camera, I don't look confident right now. I look like I'm hiding something. I look like I'm scared. And let's say I'm just glued to my iPad the whole time. No one's going to want to watch that. So stand tall, make your eye contact, and use open gestures. When I'm talking to all of you guys on the camera, and remember, this was something that was completely new to me. I was so scared to get behind the camera and take these videos. But I still remained open. I'm always talking with my hands. Sorry if that gets distracting. I try to look at the camera as much as possible, and I seem like I have more confidence. And then the next point that I was going to bleed into is that your mind is going to naturally mirror your body language. So let's say you get out there, you're speaking on a stage or something, you go out and you're open, you're standing tall, you're speaking clearly, you are faking it till you make it. Eventually, you're going to get more comfortable with what you're saying on stage. You're going to remember your presentation. All that muscle memory from practicing is going to come into play, and you're going to feel confidence naturally. Your mind is going to mirror that body language, and it's crazy. But yeah, like I said, you don't want to go out there, arms crossed, with your notes in front of your face, just like talking in front of people like this. No, you don't want to do that, because no one's going to want to listen to you. No one's going to take you seriously. And you're not going to gain that confidence throughout the presentation. This action, what I'm talking about right now, is going to help you immediately. It's not something that's going to take time. It's going to help you immediately. When you take that first step, fake it till you make it. Okay, let's see what's next. Oh, and also through that, you are repeating your actions. So if your goal is to be a public speaker, and say that example was your first time going out on stage, you went out and you crushed it because you faked it, and halfway through the presentation, something clicked in your brain. Your mind and your body finally aligned, and you felt good the rest of the presentation. You had an amazing outcome. You're obviously going to go back and talk on hundreds of other stages. Well, you're just repeating that. You're just building up your confidence because now you've done it before and you're going to do it time and time and time again. So, yeah, hopefully that made sense. I feel like I was a little all over the place with that one. But moving on, make sure that you're also prepared. So, with your repetitions, with your practice, whatever it is that you're doing on this growth journey, because the more prepared you are, the more confident you're going to feel right off the bat. And I guess I should have put this before that point, but you're preparing yourself and you're creating that muscle memory so that when you get on that stage or you get in the pool, you'll remember exactly what you have to do. Your body will automatically remember. Your mind, everything is just going to align perfectly because you've done this before. Maybe not in front of an audience, but you've done it before. And you've built up that confidence. You know you can do this, even if you haven't done it before live or anything like that. Point is, put in the work to make that practice, to gain that confidence beforehand, because you're being proactive for one, and two, you're setting the stage for success, pun intended. But you're repeatedly taking those actions and building that confidence before you even get up there and you even go talk to all those people. And it's just going to boost your game from 0 to 100 really quick. Now, again, confidence is a journey. It's not a destination, like everything else we talk about here. There's going to be ups and downs, and there's going to be setbacks, and there's going to be breakthroughs. So just embrace the process and learn from your experiences and keep moving forward, because the moment that you quit, your confidence is going to go down the drain. You're not going to feel confident or fulfilled. You're just going to feel like you failed. And if you quit, then you did fail. So just keep moving, keep going, and keep refining and polishing your skills, because the more experience you have, the more confident you're going to be. And if you never have done anything like what you're doing or right now or what you're wanting to do, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to have experience to start to try something new. You can just try something new because you feel like it. You don't have to feel that confidence right now. The point here is to make you take action so that you will feel confident in the future. And I talked about making sales calls a couple weeks ago. Let me tell you, I have not been super confident in sales in the past, but I feel like those skills are improving. I feel like I don't really get as nervous calling people anymore because I've done it so many times. And at this point, I've realized the worst they can say is no. That's literally the worst outcome for making a call to someone, a cold call. And I mean, sometimes it's more colorful versions than saying just no, but that's the worst outcome for sales. So think about it really quickly. What is the worst outcome for you? What, you get on that stage and you stutter a little bit, but you keep going and you get more confident along the way? Or you get in that pool and you don't complete your race on time? That's the worst that can happen at this point. And you can always bounce back from that. You can always improve further. But this experience, whatever it is going to give you valuable data and more confidence, even if you don't realize it right now. Once you've done the hard part and taken action, well, you've done this before. Now you're moving on to the next step. You're improving from here. You're not at square zero anymore. You're at square one. And so if you're feeling stuck at all, just make yourself do it. And just, even if it's taking a little baby step, and just progress your experience by that little bit. Because even if it's just 1%, it's 1%. You're going to be 1% more confident than you were before. Do one little baby step every day, and then you're 365% more confident than you were before. That's basically equals to infinite confidence. Now, to recap, confidence is not static. Like with anything else that we've talked about here, it is not a static skill. It is not a static value. Whatever you want to view it as, it is not static, and you are not going to feel confident just one time in your life. You're not going to master the skill of confidence probably ever. You may master a specific skill, and feel super confident in it, but confidence itself, you're not going to master that. You're always going to have different skills that you're trying, and you're always going to have ups and downs. And if you feel that way, you feel like you've really hit rock bottom, remember, you are at square one. Take it back a notch. Remember, you are not at square zero anymore. And think about what step you took to get out of this stage next time. What took you, or last time, I mean, what took you from square one to square two last time? Even if it's something different, a different skill, what got you out of that headspace? Think about that and repeat. Now, let's say you did lose that race and you don't feel super confident in your abilities anymore to win the next race. That's okay. Those are natural feelings and that's going to happen. That's okay, but make sure that you're practicing more than you did before. Practice before your next race and make sure that you're putting that time and that effort to get the practice times down. So when you actually get there on game day, you've already crushed the time from before. And make sure that you're taking action. Again, that's the biggest takeaway of this episode is take action to build your confidence and you will do great things. Now, as always, make sure to follow me on Instagram at mayz.g09 and Mayz Agreement on Facebook, where I have some big announcements coming soon. And as in soon, I mean like within the next month or two. I have been working on so much behind the scenes, you guys, and I'm finally to the point where I am almost able to announce it, and I'm super excited. So make sure you go follow so that you don't miss it. And if you're a female business owner and you want to attend my next networking event, use the link in the show notes right now. Go do that. If you didn't before, this is your last chance because it is next Tuesday. You're not going to get an episode before then. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Mayz Pod on YouTube, especially if you want me to keep making the video pod. Remember, I am going to stop dropping it if I don't see those engagements. Anyways, if you have any suggestions, comments, concerns, or really anything, email me at mayzpod@gmail.com. Use the Q&A section on Spotify or comment on YouTube. And if you're feeling extra nice, it would help me out if you left a 5-star review. And I did see a couple of those this last week, and they made my little heart so happy. So if there's anything that I ever beg of you, it's that. But remember, success doesn't come without hard work. I hope you guys all have the most productive week, and I wish you the best. See you next episode.